there is an element that's telling you that you will fail again. Pick yourself up and come. You're tagged as one of the most intellectual cricketers.
And the most challenging to bowl against on a consistent basis.
If it's Steve Smith, if it's Joe Root, I think the window of first 6 balls becomes very crucial. Flem was my bunny in the nets. Every single time he batted.
I think I was too.
I think people don't have it in them to shake my confidence. I'm not denying the fact that I'm a bit of a different weirdo. When I'm bowling to Virat Kohli in the nets, I don't bowl to him, I bowl to Steve Smith. But huge motivation for me was Harbhajan Singh. My big moment was playing alongside Sachin Tendulkar. In fact, you can call it a man crush and whatnot, is Rahul Dravid.
So the first reaction,
Glenn Maxwell had smashed me in Guwahati. One of my highlight CSK moments, I think. This is Chris Gale getting out, caught behind.
I remember that.
People add very little value to the fact that you are what you're going through emotionally. But for me, that chase is what keeps me going. If there's no chase, I don't think this person would exist.
Well, g'day Ash, great to have you. Welcome back to CSK after all this time. How does it feel to come back to CSK?
You've been around all the time, so you have the right to say welcome back. Nice to be back. Thanks, Huss.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's 10 years since you've come back to CSK. Like, what was the feeling inside when you heard that you were, picked by CSK in the auction?
How much should this be a sell, or how candid should it be, or how honest you want this to be?
As honest as
so
you
I was
want,
sitting in Perth watching the auction.
Yeah.
In fact, I was already, on the cusp of thinking when I should retire, because it had been running on my mind for a while. You know how it happens. You're someone who gave it away like that too.
Yeah.
So I was about to retire even before the test or after that test, and my friend had come all the way from Melbourne. One of my best friends. He lives in Australia, so he came over. He knew the auction was on. It was quite emotional for me, so I was sitting and watching. I wanted to be back, no doubts about it. Been wanting to be back for the last 2 auctions. Maybe if not 3.
Yeah.
And as we were watching the auction, Flem was putting the baton up, and we were watching it, and RR was going all guns. Rahul and I share a really good camaraderie. So Rahul was going pretty hard on. And truth be told, I loved my time at Rajasthan Royals. One of the fine franchises that I played for ever since I left CSK.
Yeah.
And literally after the point of 8.5 crores, I was like, telling Rahul through the TV, stop it, it's enough, it's enough, I don't want more. Because I was worried that CSK might pull the plug if they went any harder, because RR did want to get me back. But once the deal was done, like we had a celebratory sort of a high five.
Yeah.
We went out for dinner, and then, it was a good night. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So you talk a lot about you were thinking about your retirement there in Perth, sitting there watching the auction and that. Take us through that process. So you said you were thinking about it for a long time, or
yeah, for a while. Actually, I wanted to, to be very honest, I wanted to do it after my 100th test.
Right.
And then I thought, okay, let me give it a go in the home season. Because, I mean, you're playing well and you're getting wickets, you're making runs. So I thought it does make sense to play a bit. I was having a lot of fun, but the whole hard yards that I had to put through to put myself on the park again, physically and mentally, one of the most important things for me that was pulling me down was the family time. I loved being around. I know Chennai is a really hot place. You come here the harshest summer times, you are here, you're spending it in Chennai. And for me though, spending time in Chennai with my parents, my children, my wife, and obviously the kith and kin that I have, started becoming a little tough on me. I mean, they were not able to travel, the kids are growing. And I used to just question myself, looking up at the roof of the hotel room, thinking, what am I doing really? And sometimes when you don't play at this stage of your career, you feel like, oh no, it's just too much to do.
Yeah.
So it had been running on my head. And then I came to Chennai. I thought I'll probably close off the Chennai test here. I ended up getting a 6-wicket haul on 100. So it's very tough to quit when you're doing very well. So I went on with the series, and we lost against New Zealand. So one after the other, it was just building up, and then I thought, okay, let me go to Australia. Let me see how this goes, because the last time I was in Australia, I had a great tour. And when I didn't start in Perth, it was like, okay, this whole circle keeps going again. People add very little value to the fact that you are what you're going through emotionally. They don't really consider that, because your emotions are yours and it doesn't matter to anybody else. So I had been contemplating that, and then I thought, okay, maybe it is time. I've been weighing it in.
Yeah, because Ian Chappell, he said to me, he goes, one day you'll wake up and you'll just know that that's the time to retire. I didn't agree with him. I said, that's never going to happen to me. You're going to have to drag me off the cricket field. But it actually did happen to me. But did that sort of thing happen to you, or was this just that, as you're explaining, just that slow, gradual build-up?
For me, cricket was cricket. I knew cricket. You can't separate cricket from me. But the beauty and the greatest gift that I have is not whether I am playing international cricket and people are watching and clapping for me. It's not what it is. The person inside me claps for me every single time I go onto the cricket field. So I knew there is cricket that I can latch onto. I can come back and play the TNPL and just as much have joy of playing the game. I can play the Raja of Palayampati Shield, which is first division cricket, and still have the fun. Even if that's not possible, and I feel 3-day cricket is a lot for me, I can go and play a club game on Sunday and still have a lot of fun. I knew I can have that sort of fun, which is the sort of fun I missed over the last 15 years. So I was very sure that cricket as a fun element in my life cannot be separated. But the fact of the matter is, the stage, playing for India, would I miss that? And I was very sure that I wouldn't. So I said, okay, let me pull the plug on it here.
And so now you've been retired for a couple of months now. No regrets whatsoever?
No, not at all.
No.
Several times my wife has asked me, we won the Champions Trophy now. So she asked me, would you have rather been playing? I said, no, I think I don't miss it. I'm happy just talking about the victory of India.
Yeah.
It just keeps me really happy. I'm happy that India has won. It's a great moment for us.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really miss playing the sport at that level. I can still play the sport. It's just that I wear the Indian jersey, which I won't be able to wear again. But any jersey that I wear and I compete and try to win is going to give me equal amount of happiness.
Can you just elaborate a little bit more on what you said there about the last couple of months? It's been fun, but it's been challenging as well. What have you found challenging in the last couple of months?
Just to live up to the expectations of the wife, the kids, my dad and mom, hugely challenging. I mean, there are days we have our coffee moments in the morning. We wake up, we all go to bed pretty early and then race pretty early. The most valuable moments in life come when you're having that coffee in the morning with the children. They're talking about their day from the past and what their day looks like at school that particular day. And then the wife tells you, I don't feel like dropping the children at school. Can you go drop them in school and get me a coffee when you're coming back? And then I don't feel like doing it. And then she goes, now is the first time you're a full-time husband and you're turning me down. So those are expectations. And then in the evening, my mom or dad call me and say, I haven't seen you all day. What are you doing? It was much better when you didn't retire. At least you'll call me on the phone every day. Yeah. So these are small digs that you get through the day. Then you sometimes get guests at home that you don't necessarily want to entertain. And you have to, because your parents want you to come down and do all that sort of stuff. So those are things that are of mild irritation, and people get irritated with me because I want to just sit in a corner and dig a hole all day long and watch TV or do what I want.
Well, one thing you will be doing post-retirement for, well, hopefully not just this year, but for a few years to come, is playing for CSK. So we're all very excited about that. But I want to go back to the start when you were a young guy, first picked up for CSK. What were your impressions of CSK, and when you first started, and I guess who were you watching and what were you learning in those early years?
God forbid, I didn't want to say that then, but the first day I walked into the dressing room, I wanted to be a part of the 11. I don't know if that's what everybody wants to do. I'm sure everybody does right now. But many of the other kids seems like a long time. The other kids that walked in with me to the dressing room felt so good about being there, But for me, I wanted to see what Haydos was saying. I wanted to see from the first day, not that you're sitting right opposite to me, but I was very intrigued by how you went about your business because you're tagged as one of the most intellectual cricketers. You were tagged then and you continue to be tagged as Mr. Cricket. So I wanted to see how you guys went about your business and what I can learn from you all, and never kept the ball down. I just wanted to keep bowling all the time. So several times when people used to pull me off the net and send me to the Mac B nets, I used to be so disappointed because I wanted to be in the thick of things and bowl in the center. However, I think the early impressions of CSK was that it was a stage way beyond someone like me who was just walking into the sheds. It felt like it was huge. All the international cricketers, was I ready? Were people ready to take me on and say, okay, be a part of the 11, you're good enough? Would that happen? All those questions were in my mind. But never did I once think that I was not, I was there for just adding to the numbers and not wanting to be a part of the team. But having said all that, my early days, my first year with Kepler, Wessels, who was the coach in 2008,
Yeah.
was a bit up and down. I didn't know what to expect. But in 2009, when Flem actually took over in South Africa and hence on, the relationship became much better because Flem was my bunny in the nets. Every single time he
I think
batted.
I was too.
Nah, Huss wasn't the same. Flem was a bunny in the net. So was Jacob Oram and Albie Morkel. So it used to be fun because the wickets used to rag at the back end, and it used to be fun bowling at them. And I used to think every time I bowled to these guys, I used to think that they used to go back and tell MS or tell one of the coaches, hey, you know what, this kid's good.
Yeah.
Can we get him to play? That was your hope. That was your hope, right? I'm sure a lot of young kids who come out and play the game now want to impress you in the nets and want to get a game. That's how things work, and that's how I started my journey.
Yeah, well, and obviously you've been involved in the IPL for so many years now. How have you seen the game change from when you first started as that young kid to where you are sitting right here today?
I've seen the game evolve quite a bit to a point where I felt like, am I relevant playing the game anywhere? So being an off spinner, being a finger spinner isn't one of the easiest things to play around in the IPL right now. Not right now, for a while it's been like that, maybe for 6-7 years or maybe more. So I think the game hit a barrier in 2016-17 when I should say that Champions Trophy time in 2017 where the wrist spinners had started making a real noise, and if you were a finger spinner, couldn't contribute with the bat, or like you couldn't be a Ravindra Jadeja on the park, things were getting quite tough. So I had to reinvent my game.
Yeah.
So very intricate part of the game, I'm sure you would understand this. I've been a spinner all along, and you throw the ball up, it drops, it comes to a certain length, you drive the ball and all that. As a spinner, suddenly you know that in T20 game, that length is not the same. You just can't bowl a spinner's length anymore. Imagine somebody waking up in the morning and telling you that you can't be in the house anymore. You'll have to vacate it. Like with your pajamas on, you have to vacate it. And that's how it felt. Because as a spinner, you bowl the ball, it falls there on length. The line is a bit optional, you can go any which ways. And then now all of a sudden, you have to pull your length back by that much. And the beauty of it was you needed to pull your length back by that much and still get the ball to fizz off the surface. From my height, changing that length was a huge matter of concern. I tried to go leg break, which I think held me in good stead. I understood another skill better. I wanted to use my carom ball, which was falling a touch fuller. Went through that transition phase between, let's say, 2016 to 2017, 2018, and I moved to Kings, which is when I started discovering my reverse carom ball, bowling the carom ball at speed, understanding that finger spinners need not necessarily go for, because as a finger spinner, if you're constantly searching for wickets and recognition through that, you can be very underwhelming. And I didn't want to do that. I started working on my batting. Six hitting never came naturally to me. I moved away, worked on my power hitting, worked on power training. It can sound, for people listening to this, what have you done? But in all honesty, I know the work that I've put behind the scenes. Went for power training courses. I got myself injured doing power training, understood what my body was like, used to travel to America, work on power hitting, try to, resonate with baseball and stuff like that. Even the minutest 1% that I can get better by is what I focused on, and which eventually ended up in me making a comeback into the T20 setup of the Indian cricket team, which I think in more than one way is probably my happiest point as a cricketer.
Who's been the toughest guy in T20 cricket that you've had to come up against and found it most challenging to bowl against on a consistent basis?
Anyone that's batting in a particular game that's batted you for more than 10 balls is a difficult proposition. Because he's now seen you for 10 balls at different phases of the game and he can line you up. So it hardly matters about who you're coming up against. Do I have that 11th or 12th option to confuse that particular batter is the question now, because you're not losing wickets in a hurry anymore in T20 cricket. At an average, 4-5 wickets in an innings, at an average. So as a spinner, if I'm bowling 4 overs distributed across a period of 20 overs, there are chances that I'll have to bowl 10 balls at the same batter. So I need to be able to bowl at different lengths, different distances, different variations, different trajectories, and you're just hoping that the batsman, even when he's set, he's going to miscue one. So in all honesty, you do so much and still there is an amount of luck involved in the game. So
sure.
That's the beauty of the game, and that's what you keep striving on for, which is also one of the reasons I still get very excited about playing the game. There is an amount of there is an element that's telling you that you will fail again. Pick yourself up and come.
Yeah. Let's go sideways to Test cricket. Take us out into the middle. You're bowling in a Test match. New batsman comes to the crease. What's your mindset of how you're going to attack him or how you're going to set him up to get him out? How do you go about dismissing a batsman in Test cricket?
If I've got a wicket and I'm getting the batsman coming in new, I think the first 6 balls is incredibly crucial on how I set up a batsman. First 6 to maybe 12 balls, depending on the batter. If it's Steve Smith, if it's Joe Root, I think the window of first 6 balls becomes very crucial because they've got the ability to hurt you big time even in those first 6 to 10 balls. But if I'm coming up against someone that I know is a little bit of a newbie or someone who I have a better understanding of, I might take a few more chances in the first 2-3 balls, knowing that they'll still probably have a defensive mindset. The first 6 balls is pretty much about operating in a fashion that I'm not giving much away. Can I keep them on strike? The old adage or the old jargon, whatever you want to say, of not bowling those hit me balls in the first 6 balls is absolutely critical. Like when I started playing first class cricket, the coach in Tamil Nadu told me, like if a new batsman has come and you give a ball away for a cut, or if you're going to bowl a long half volley, it's a non-negotiable. So I still hold on to that particular bit. And then I'm thinking if I want to get Steve Smith out, I'm thinking 2 areas when I'm getting him out first up. I'm either nicking him off to slip or I'm getting him out at back pad. So these are the 2 dismissals that I'm thinking of, which again comes back to my execution. I can think I want to get him out at backward short leg, but if I can't bowl the ball, get it to drop and then get him to play that shot, my thinking is a waste of time. So I practice accordingly. Like when I'm bowling to Virat Kohli in the nets, I don't bowl to him, I bowl to Steve Smith. Likewise, I think it is very important that you understand who you're coming up against and, like starving them of what they actually need. It's like you're basically starving them of water. And that's when they make the mistake.
And do you have like a sequence of balls in that first 6 that you'll use to try and get them out? Or do you just go on your gut feel of what you're trying to execute?
I've seen a video of you talking about Shane Warne going up against Ram Naresh Sarwan and you were standing at short leg. I found that fascinating because I know what he's tried to do there. The one thing that I've found over the last 15 years and the evolution of the game is that batsmen don't fall for that anymore.
Right.
Like if it's a lower order batter, sure. Somebody who's out of depth, sure. But that sort of sequencing is also, you must remember that for a leg spinner, to say I'm going to land the ball on leg stump, middle stump, off stump, wider and come back
difficult
is an incredible skill. And I'm thinking with the amount of drift he used to get, I'm thinking how he must have worked it out at different positions on the crease. But for me, more than sequencing of the balls, it's about what the batsman's reacting to every single delivery that's important. But when I got Steve Smith out at Adelaide, I had a sequence of balls in mind and it worked perfectly. That's why I said the first 6 balls are very important. You can sequence the first 6 balls or 10 balls, but beyond that, it's about what responses or reactions you're getting from the batsman and how you're going to be able to pick up those cues and deliver the ball. That's important. So if I know I have someone, then sequencing it becomes much more easier.
Okay. What about playing in India? Obviously, you know the conditions in India like the back of your hand. What adjustments did you have to make to your game for playing in different conditions, like coming to Australia, for example, or maybe the UK? Did you have to change your game much, and how did that evolve over the course of your career?
So when I came to Australia, right, like my first year when I came up against Ricky Ponting, Michael Clarke, yourself and all that, I was pretty young as a test cricketer at that point of time. The only thing I knew, which my coach had told when I began, was when you're in trouble and when someone's going after and you're going for runs, try to spin the ball harder, right? Like spin the ball harder, because he believed that my biggest strength was to spin the ball hard and get the rotations on it. Which was also my belief. But when I came back, I realized my alignments and line is incredibly crucial in Australia. Like if I missed on width either side of the pitch, I was being punished. And if I gave a little bit more time in the air, I was still getting punished because the surfaces are true. But one thing I knew was that bounce is in my favor. The speed of the pitch is also in my favor. So I wanted to sequence those balls with the ones that I really tossed it up, to mix it up to get the desired result. If I had the batsman pinned to the crease, when I bowled the overspin delivery, I had a better chance of getting them out near the bat, which is something I understood. I worked on it for 2-3 years and came back when I came in 2013-14, which was a better tour for me. And then the subsequent tours have been even better. The other challenge, though, when you said the back of the hand in India, India is a very unique place. It's not the same everywhere. You need to be able to adapt within India. Sometimes we find it's an away game for us. We go and discover something that we don't know. So when I go to Australia and come back every time to India, I have to unlearn what I've learned to be able to execute in India. The overspin that is beautiful in Australia doesn't work. If you go and ask Nathan Lyon, he'd be able to tell you about that. You bowl that lovely overspin. In Australia, you get that bounce and the batsman's hurried. But when you come to India and do that, after you think you've been bowling well in Australia, you'll be in for a surprise because the same ball's coming and sitting on the pitch. It's slower, you can get pulled, you can get cut, and you can get played off the back foot nicely. So that was a huge learning for me when I came back from Australia. So it's like I have to learn, unlearn, sleep, eat, repeat, and do the same. So it's kind of, that's a beautiful learning for a spinner.
Yeah, you mentioned Nathan Lyon there. Some of your contemporaries, you've got Lyon, Graham Swan, obviously Ravichandran as well. How much did you watch these guys, learn from these guys? How much did you compete with these guys? And how much did these guys motivate you to elevate your game?
I'm a huge fan of Graham Swan. Big fan of Graham Swan. I didn't play a lot alongside him or with him, against him either. Played a bit with Bhaji. He played alongside me. I think Bhaji was probably not at his prime best when I played alongside him. But huge motivation for me was Harbhajan Singh. I used to bowl in the under-19s with his action. A big inspiration after what he did in the Border Gavaskar Trophy and like that. But more of a contemporary and competition happened a lot with Nathan Lyon.
Yeah.
I used to really admire how he also kind of evolved since the 2014 tour. He has brought in a lot of subtleties into his game, learned to bowl side spin whenever he came to India and stuff like that. But once you cross the stage of competition, I think there's a sense of mutual respect and admiration, which I think both of us had between us over the last 3-4 years, especially when I went to Australia and we had that wonderful tour in 2020. And ever since, we've discussed quite a bit about spin bowling. I've seen him evolve as a spinner. He continues to evolve, continues to try. And even on the recent one where there was a lot more help for spin when he came down to India, he bowled only from round the stumps. Nathan Lyon never had it in him to bowl a lot from round the stumps because as the Indian team, our first aim was to get him going away from over the stumps and bowl around the stumps. As a batting unit, we thought it was very uncomfortable for him, but he came here and he got better. The first test he struggled, but after that he started bowling pretty well from round the stumps. So those are things that you do on tours, on the go, which tells you something about the cricketer. So he was prepared to do that, and that's why he's probably one of the best spinners from Australia.
I've been into your fact file of your career, and you've obviously taken so many wickets, far out. I was amazed the career you've had. But from a test match point of view, do you remember your first wicket?
Yeah.
You know who it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, easy one?
Darren Bravo.
Darren Bravo. Your 100th wicket?
Darren Sammy.
Wow, you're like Glenn McGrath. He can name every single one of his
I'm not
wickets.
that good. I'm not that good.
Okay, what about your 200th wicket?
Kane Williamson. Yeah.
Correct. 300?
Oof, that's a bit of a challenge. I can't remember it's 350 or 300. 350 was Lahiru Gamage, or 300 was Lahiru Gamage. Hold on. Okay, can we come back to that?
No, you're right. 300 was Lahiru.
Lahiru Gamage, okay.
Yes, so you're good with that. 400?
400 was Jofra Archer.
That's correct. 500?
Zach Crawley.
And do you remember your last test wicket?
Yes, which was not quite the wicket, I guess.
I was going to ask you about that.
Mitchell Marsh. I thought he nicked it. He walked away.
He thought he nicked it too. So Mitchell Marsh was your last wicket. And I wanted to ask you were the ICC Player of the Year and Test Cricket Player of the Year in 2016. Why was that such a big year for you? Like, when you're playing at your absolute best, what does it look like? What does it feel like for you? And why was that year in particular just so good for you?
From a spinner's perspective or from anything? I mean, I just felt like whatever I was doing was on demand, right? Like I can get the ball on the spot and drop it. Like every time a batsman stepped out, I always found him searching for the ball. And I think it's to do with your physical shape, your fitness, the amount of body that goes into the ball, the arc, the repetitive nature of it, and just that feel of knowing what the batsman is doing. I think it's a purple patch that you get into. You can call it the Zen mode. In fact, if you go back and check the stats and data on that, not mine, of Virat Kohli's, you will know what sort of a year I had. I think he had a bumper season as well, and I was just being able to tip him out. But the beauty of it is, the very next year I found myself out of the team. So it's also telling you in all fairness that the world's a circle. You go right up to the top, you will find yourself down at one point of time, like in the dumps. So in so many ways, it was a very important couple of years for me. It taught me so much more about life and centering of myself.
Yeah, you're so right about the game being, it's a great leveler, isn't it? You know, you played with so many great players over the years. Is there a player that you've played with, an Indian player, that you really admired, and why? Is there one that stands out more than most?
My big moment was playing alongside Sachin Tendulkar. I didn't think that I was ever going to play alongside him. A huge fan, like a fanboy moment. And for me to walk into the dressing room and share the dressing room, I'd have loved to watch him in his prime when he was smashing Australia, of course, in Sharjah and all those sort of knocks in Australia and that. It's quite unfortunate I couldn't watch him in his prime, but I've been privy to some of his best knocks. He got his double 100 when I was watching from the dressing room in 2009. It's a testament of the fact of how good he was, that he waited till I came to the Indian team and continued playing. Such a wonderful career. But relationship-wise, getting a little attracted to someone, in fact, you can call it a man crush and whatnot, is Rahul Dravid. What a human being. And sometimes you make estimations on people from afar, right? You think they're a certain way. Rahul Dravid was never really this attractive player. Like you had Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar, and Saurav Ganguly playing for India. And people I always used to think used to percolate towards Sachin, Saurav, a little bit of a leader. He had this tag with him that Ganguly was a very, in-your-face sort of a leader, transformed the younger generation sort of a view to it. But never really thought that Rahul Dravid was that sort of a person that you would get attracted to. I didn't think about it. Of course, I think he was the heartthrob of a lot of women when he was playing. That aside, for someone like me, I used to think Rahul Dravid, played very, he was very stubborn. He used to bide his time, leave a lot of balls, not very attractive on the face of it. But then as I started watching him closer and also knowing him as a person, and eventually when he became the coach of the team, it's a relationship that I want to cherish forever. And him, Rohit, and we actually had a very good bond, along with some of the other coaches in that team. So maybe it also tells you about my age, on what sort of people I gel with. I think Rahul Dravid is one person that I had a wonderful relationship and also learnt a lot from.
And you mentioned relationships with coaches there as well. Was there a coach that was your favourite, and again, why?
Coach that was a favourite, I would say Vikram Rathour. So at 2016, 2017, when you spoke about, I had a great time, and I used to bat, I used to make runs, I used to bowl, I used to get wickets. And then there was this phase where I've never been short of confidence. I think people don't have it in them to shake my confidence, but that was tested. My confidence was tested. There were people that tested and shook my confidence, and I found myself struggling with a bat a lot. In terms of, I do have, I'm not denying the fact that I'm a bit of a different weirdo, different character. I bat differently. I get my bat into different positions. I try new things, which is also who I am. And Vikram had walked into my cricketing career at the stage where I was trying to rediscover, chart a new path, find a new territory. And it was not so much the technique or the tactics that came with it. It was just the pure approach of him allowing me to be who I was and still explore what I could do, and yet put that across in a nice fashion as to how it would reach me. And then it evolved into a bond, to a fact that we actually go for dinner. We find it in each other to have a personal relationship. Even now, once he's out of the team, I'm out of the team, and we call once in a while. We have a long conversation. We can discuss about it, and that's not because of how he helped me with the cricket alone. I just think only a nice person or a good individual can build that sort of a relationship. And to be a coach, I think you need to be a very, very good individual, and which he was. And he doesn't have the image that Rahul Dravid has or Sachin Tendulkar has, but most certainly a wonderful coach. I'm so happy for him that he's found himself a role in Rajasthan Royals. And
congratulations, really, on being conferred the Padma Shri. Is that right? In 2025. Can you tell me more about that?
it's probably one of the highest civilian honors that an Indian can get, and I think I was very young to receive it, and I have massive amount of gratitude for the Indian government who's conferred that upon me. There's a lot of people who sit across the table and discuss whether I deserve it or not. I would like to thank every one of those. And what do these awards mean? Several times I've sat and wondered, what do these awards actually mean to me? These awards are all just a milestone in your career, and for me, I'd like to see that as another inspiration to move on to the next part of my life. I don't know what path that is, to be honest, but I do think that I'm not someone who'll sit behind and just take life easy. I would want to chase something. The beauty, like someone watching this would ask me, why do you need to chase anything? That's fair. That's absolutely fine. That could be somebody's journey. But for me, that chase is what keeps me going. If there's no chase, I don't think this person would exist. So I like chasing something. So I think that award is telling me that what you've done so far is fantastic, and what you're doing right now is also great. It's contributing to the society. In some way, it's telling me that I should be able to contribute to the society, and I take it as a responsibility for the next part of my life.
Nice, nice. I mean, you've obviously had so much success throughout your career on the field, successful off the field as well. What advice would you give to a youngster that's growing up that wants to be successful in whatever field they are in, whether it's cricket or outside that? Have you got, I don't know, some advice that you'd sort of look back and say, nah, if you can do these things, then you've got a chance of being successful?
Look, Huss, you and I can vouch for this. I'm sure you would also say this. You can live your life systematically on a day-to-day basis, saying this is what I do this part of the day, this is what I would do in this part of the day, and you can literally draw a timetable and do it. That's what our schooling system also tells us. You have a timetable, live accordingly, you'll have a great life. But it's, in my view, it's not true, because everybody lives by the timetable. It's not like you need to search to be different, but my view on it is something that's been taught in science right from the start of your life, which is evolution. You need to be able to evolve as a person every minute, if not every day. Today is not the same as what it was yesterday. So somewhere down the line, we all tend to stay very comfortable with who we were years ago or who we are today. I think the one piece of advice that I would say is try and be something else the next day. Try and be someone different or someone better than who you were today. And that will take you to the highest point in the ladder, because whether you accept it or not, agree or not, the world is moving, it's changing every single day, and every species living on this planet is evolving. And if you're not evolving and if you're not changing and you want to be comfortable not knowing what's there on the other side of the fence, the only person that's losing out, not on success, but on experience, is you yourself. So life is about experiences, not necessarily rationing it as success or failure. Yeah. It's about experiences. You're given a certain time stamp to experience so many things. Why do you want to leave it behind? Like if you know Hinduism, it's about rebirth. Why do you want to leave it behind for another birth? Experience as much as you can and try and evolve. Very nice indeed. Thank you. All right, I think it's time for our power play. Is that all right? Can we move on to the power play? So we're going to get your reaction. Was it poor till now? Huh? Was it poor play till now? Poor play. Okay, so just to finish with, we're doing the power play. I'm going to show you some iconic images from your career, and I'm just interested to get your reaction. Don't tell me you're going to show me you getting out LBW against me. No? No, I don't remember that either. I don't remember that. But it's similar. So the first reaction, Oh my goodness. Do you remember that? I do. I have a story to this. This was Melbourne, 2011. Yes. 2011, December, yeah. The Boxing Day test. I think you guys, you're having a partnership with Pattinson, 90 for 6 or 7 you guys were. So, right. You know the beauty of this, even now I speak to Rahul Dravid about it, and he tells me how I dropped the dolly. It was so simple. It could have been a difference between us winning the test. It was, because if you had gotten out, we would have won the test. Getting about 150 shouldn't have been an issue. But the beauty of this was I had recently bought an iPad, and the footages were loaded on that. He had got out to Graham Swan, similarly driving on the up in Brisbane, if I'm not wrong. Okay, yeah. So I was visualizing you getting out like that. The only difference was I had put a short point, so you stepped out to try and find that gap, and it went to slip, and it was just lobbing like that. Yes. Rahul Dravid and I have a good relationship, but that's not one I'd forgive him for. I'll forgive him for it. Thank you very much, Rahul. Okay, next one. You made 90, did you?
I
Thank
can't
you.
remember. I honestly can't remember. But I'm grateful that catch went down. Okay, here's the next image.
Ah, yes. Okay, nice. That's my recent 100 in Chennai last year, 2024. I thought
Your sixth. You
my
got
sixth,
600.
my sixth and last.
Sixth and last. 6 Test centuries. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Good to get it at home. Home fan.
I've got 2. The last 2 Test matches I played in Chennai, I've got 100. So I didn't think I would do that. I think I might have got 100 and something. I don't know how much I got here, to be honest. I can't remember that.
Who was that against?
It was against Bangladesh. We were in like 100 for 6 or 6, something like that.
Nice.
But one thing I remember from the knock was I just saw the ball big right from the first ball. I don't know how, but just felt like being in the zone.
Yeah.
Maybe because I was thinking, okay, could this be the last test? There's so much clarity in thought. So
Yeah.
it'd be nice.
What about this one? I believe this is a bit cheeky.
Not something I'm proud of.
Remind me, I can't remember.
So Glenn Maxwell had smashed me in Guwahati. Like smashed me. That was my first experience of somebody smashing me like that. I think I went for 2 overs 48 or something.
Really?
In Guwahati, 2 overs 40. I can't remember exactly. Just reverse sweep me, just tonked me everywhere. And even in Abu Dhabi, I think earlier in the year, I think he got a big score against us and chased down 200 odd. But I just wanted to like get him out so badly, and I had planned on getting him out, bowling the ball slow and bowling a sort of a top spinner, and I did, and I got him out in one wicket. This again, they made 240 odd. Sehwag got 100 in this game. And I got him out and I just blew him away. So, not something I'm proud of, but yeah, those things happen in the moment of time.
Did you get a reaction from Glenn Maxwell?
I think he might have just pissed on something. I mean, he might have just given me like a big mouthful of what he felt. I've never seen him not give me a mouthful.
Yeah.
But since then, I mean, I got him out last year when I was playing for RR also. I don't think I would do it again.
Yeah.
Not that I recommend that to anyone.
Okay, let's move on. Next one.
This was D.Y. Patil, was this? Anirudh is there, Haydos is there. So this must have been the 2010 win in D.Y.
D.Y. Patel against Mumbai Indians.
Against Mumbai Indians.
Yes.
This must have been that, yes.
Okay, let's move on. What about this one?
Yeah, I think one of the best balls I've bowled.
Yeah.
I think in Dhaka we were having these double headers, and there was a little bit of foot mark on outside leg stump for the right-handers. Because we're playing night games, we had planned it together. Me, DJ and MS had planned that we'd go around the stumps. Just gave me something to bowl into inside the power play, because I was bowling 3 inside the power play, which is quite the stretch.
Yeah.
And the previous ball, I'd bowled it and Hashim had planned it. So he said he went on off stump, just left it. Just went down the leg side for wide. I don't think he was ready for the ball to pitch and grip and come back. So I think even this one, he saw the ball and then it spun, it started coming down. So this is one of the best balls I've bowled. Yeah.
It was Karen ball, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Lovely.
One of my highlight CSK moments, I think.
What's this one?
This is Chris Gale getting out, caught behind.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's a great moment, right? Yeah.
Whew.
I still remember you challenging me that season or the previous one about getting Pollard out. You said, "Can you get him out?" I said, "Yes, I think I can get him out." And I don't know if you remember that catch. I don't know if it's a part of the moment. Do you remember Thilan Tushara?
Yeah.
Thilan Tushara was at a long off, and Pollard skied it straight up from outside off stump. He skied it. Vijay from long on had covered up. Tushara had come and he'd run in, and he went back like that. It missed his hand, hit his like the end of his finger. Vijay was standing right behind. His eyes were closed. Just went straight into his hand.
I don't remember that.
I
I
think
remember
you-
this one though.
Yeah,
That
this
was
was
just
a big
opening the
moment.
bowling in
Yeah,
the
and
final.
Chris Gale was in-
Chris Gale was on fire in that tournament.
And I got him out twice, bang bang, in the qualifier and in the finals.
Yeah. And that was like a dagger in RCB's heart, wasn't it? When we,
Yeah,
because
I
we
think-
got a decent score.
Yeah, I think somebody's walking in already. I think it is Mayank Agarwal who's walking in.
Yeah. Yeah, that was huge. And I still remember the roar of the crowd too, because that's when we had the full stadium packed.
I mean,
I
it
think we
was-
did, yeah.
The crowds have been fantastic for CSK. Huss, why do you think that is?
Well, you know, there's a certain wicket keeper that sort of drags a few along, you know.
I remember him going, "Oh yeah," after taking the catch, and that's a signature celebration of his. And
Yeah.
I have it. You don't hear it when you're bowling, right? But when you're hearing it on the stump mic, when you're watching it,
Yeah.
it's pretty evident. A lot of fans put out videos of that. So
Yeah, it was
it's been a while since he's kept wickets to me.
Okay, I think this is the last one. Tell me about this.
I think I've spoken about this. I was cursing Dinesh Karthik, and we had fallen way back in the game against Pakistan, and we had lost the previous encounter against them in the T20 World Cup in Dubai. Huge game. And I think we were chasing 150 odd, and we were deep in trouble, and Virat had rescued us. Virat and Hardik had a wonderful partnership. You won't believe it, Huss. Sometimes these instincts work, right? Like Rahul was sitting, and I've not seen Rahul pumped. Like every shot he used to get up and he used to, punch our hands and all that. I was sitting, I just padded up. Cold. I've never seen Melbourne that cold. Like cold mean biting cold. I don't wear sweaters. I was wearing one.
Yeah.
So Rahul was, I think they ran. There was a no ball bowled by Nawaz, and they ran 3. Dinesh dived and reached, and we needed to get like 2 of 2 balls. Rahul was like, I told myself, I was just telling myself, Dinesh is going to sweep. Rahul goes like, Dinesh, just don't sweep, man. Just don't sweep. Goes Dinesh, whack, hits the pad. And even if he hadn't gotten out, been fine, hit the pad, it just rolls to Mohammad Rizwan. And he pulls the stump off and he gets out. And I'm like, literally, I can't say it. What are you doing? What are you doing? And like we go out for dinner, we have a lot of banter. So I was like, just walked across, he just walked past me. And I was just cursing him under the breath and went there. Virat was possessed. Like I just looked him in the eye and said, I asked him just one question. I said, is it like gripping? Because I wanted to go inside out over cover or something, because the field was in. If the wicket's good, like it is in Australia, it's just going through the line is easier.
Yeah.
Or I can just dink him over the head and we can run a 2 or something. That's all I wanted from him. And he was like, extra cover was actually a bit too much. I just wanted to dink him over there or just get bat and ball.
Yeah.
The worst case was at least get this to a super over and not get out. Virat was like, he's bowling okay. He's just bowling, darting it into the pitch. You can like move away and hit him over extra cover, or you can just stay the line and hit him over mid wicket, or you can just go down the ground. I'm like, these are shots. If I was playing all these shots at will, I wouldn't be batting at number 8. I just saw him and his eyes were still and sort of thing. And the only thing I heard was he was darting it in. So I said, okay, let me just step back and see if he darts it in. And in case it just feels like it skipped my eye line, I'll leave it. That was there. I wouldn't say that it was completely instinctive. It was there in my head. But the moment I saw it like skip my left eye, I was like, okay, that's done. That's just left the ball. And after I left that ball, I can't tell you, Huss, when I walked into bat, took guard, I haven't seen a ground with that much silence. It was pin drop silence. I don't think any Indian fan believed that I would get those 2 runs. It was 1 ball 2 to get. And the moment I left that wide, right, I think people were confused. They didn't know what to react or how to react. And then after a brief second, they were just celebrating.
Yeah.
I just told myself, now I think even if I just slog it, it's going to go somewhere. I might just get an inside edge because the luck is with me. And just went inside out. I just timed it pretty well, actually.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I remember that game. Melbourne was absolutely heaving, like at the ground, but even outside the ground, the noise that I've never heard.
My moment
like
of silence, I went in, I was just sitting quietly. I didn't know, I mean, people are celebrating. I didn't know how to, I was just sitting there. And Rahul just walked in, and for 3 straight minutes, he was just yelling and shouting and all that. And he just came to me and said, yeah. And there's only one thing that he didn't do. He didn't punch me on my face, but he was so damn excited. So good to see Rahul do that.
So thanks very much for your time, Ash. It's been a pleasure having you on. Mic testing 1, 2, 3.
Who are you testing? Testing yourself?
I didn't come up with a name.
Being here.
But well done, mate.
Here,
All the best.
Thanks.